So this is the next part in the health series. We're literally going video by video as I break down different parts of my health journey. Make sure you subscribe to the channel below the video and hit the bell notification so you can get instant notifications every single time we add a new video to this playlist. But then at the same time, any other kind of video we help you with to help you with your lifestyle, Christianity, and actually understanding the Bible as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. The second thing is every video so far that we've covered in the series is going to be below the video in the description box, and also a link to the playlist as a whole in general. So if you're watching this at a later date, the whole playlist will probably likely be there as well. All right. So today's video, we've entitled it The Healthy Shelf. This is one of the big game changers in regards to how I started making shifts. We've talked previously about prayer. We've talked a lot about scales and exercise and all these different things, which were some of the building blocks in regards to this growth. Now, this is one of the next standout things in this journey. So let me explain what I mean. So most of us can probably understand or relate or have some sort of empathy for what we necessarily call the snack cupboard, right? This is generally like the cupboard or the shelf, the pantry, whatever it is. There's a section in a lot of people's houses today where you've got a lot of the unhealthy snacks. You've got certain type of biscuits in there. You've got certain type of crisp or chocolates or drinks or whatever it is, loads of different stuff. And we were no different. I'll just put it like that. Okay, so we had this shelf. A lot of people that would actually come around and add to that cupboard. We'd obviously add to the cupboard, and generally a lot of the time that's the cupboard that's really full with abundance, and at the same time that's the cupboard that literally gets probably consumed regularly as well. And what I started to do is I started to shift away from certain things I was eating. And bear in mind, we're going to have a video about what I eat and some of the things I've been eating coming up, so make sure you subscribe below. But we're going to get into one of the things I started to eat because it has reference to just the healthy shelf. And bear in mind, it was just me at this time. It wasn't the whole family doing this, so just bear that in mind as well. We'll cover that at a future video, a future topic in the series. Me and my wife had this conversation, and I basically said, look, I'm not trying to take out the whole cupboard right now. What I basically need is I need a shelf in the snack cupboard which is healthy, or healthier, should I say. And my whole thinking was, look, every time I get peckish or I want to eat something, our reactions, our habitual actions is to go to the snack cupboard. I would open the cupboard, and what would I find? I'd find the same old snacks at the time. So the first really couple of weeks in regards to this, if I remember correctly, were the really difficult ones, because this was the time where I'd really made the shift, and I'd started saying to myself, okay, you know what, I'm really trying to change a lot of the stuff I'm eating right now. And I've still got the same habits at this time, so I'm still going to the same kind of things. The only difference is every time I'm going to these places, I'm seeing things that I don't want to consume. So I said, look, let me have just one shelf. It's a 3-shelf cupboard. I said, look, let me take one shelf for myself. And now, because I'm the tallest in the family, I got the highest shelf. So what does that mean? That meant every time I open the cupboard, I see the first shelf, I see the second shelf, and then I'd have to see the third shelf. But the problem was that to start, there was nothing on the healthy shelf. So I'd just be opening the cupboard routinely and just seeing unhealthy stuff. And I said, you know what, I need to start adding things to that shelf. So when I not only open the cupboard just habitually, I can not only see all this stuff, but I can see things that I've selected and picked out for myself, so I can be confident and complete in regards to what I'm actually going to be eating. So I basically said to myself, you know what, okay, cool, what can I start getting? Now, one of the things, and I say this to my wife still to this day, which was a game changer. I'm not going to go into loads of different stuff, but one of the things, we're going to look at one key thing. And this isn't advertised or anything like that. I'm just giving just a thumbs up to some accreditation, because it was something that helped me. Okay, so give honor where honor's due. Something like this. And the fact of the matter is, this will last. I'm telling you that now. I bought the big bag of monkey nuts. And what I used to do, which is really great for a couple of different reasons, okay, and we'll continue with the healthy shelf in a moment. I used to just open a bag and just pour some out into a container or just a big bowl, and I'd start cracking away and basically just unwrap the peanut and start eating it. Now, this worked for so many different reasons. Number one, maybe just because of my African heritage, we tend to like nuts in different shapes and forms, so maybe it was that. Number two, it's something that can satiate you and fill you up. Number three, it takes a bit of time to actually consume them. So by the time you've consumed a decent amount, you haven't necessarily eaten loads of food. And more importantly, it's not loads of bad food. And obviously at the end of the day, it's not like a processed food either. It's great because I keep saying this to my wife, this is a game changer. Why is it a game changer? Because all of the benefits I just said. Now, one of the reasons we can hone in on is the fact that because it's got shells on, you actually have to break the shell and then eat it. So it takes more time for you to eat the food. That gives your brain more time to actually realize it's hungry. We'll talk about this stuff more in the next video, okay? So make sure you subscribe to the channel because you don't want to miss this video, so you can get more insights into what I'm specifically talking about. But in regards to eating, I'll just put it like this: time is your friend. But the point is this was one of the first things. I remember there was one point my family came around, my brother came around with his wife and his children, and I remember I just pulled out the bag and we just poured it in one big bowl and was all just eating. And I was basically just talking about it. I was like, yeah, this is one of the game changers for me because of all of the reasons I've explained earlier in the video. The fact of the matter is, this was the building blocks to how I started to get my healthy shelf, basically. And I started to add certain things to the shelf. So as things continued to go there, every time I'd open the cupboard, it went from me opening the cupboard and just feeling tempted. Okay, even though I wasn't really tempted too much, and I talked about this in my weird cravings video, I wasn't really tempted by that. But just because you're not really tempted like that at that point, it doesn't mean you should continue down that vein. I knew at some point maybe I would start to get tempted a lot more, so I wanted to change that. Okay, so it went from not really being tempted, but just having only unhealthy things in the cupboard. Then it went to adding things like monkey nuts and just having that, and just having one thing, okay, just one thing at the beginning was enough to carry me over until I started adding more things. So one piece of advice to give to you today is, look, if you're trying to make certain changes, don't just think that you have to make just these rapid changes, rapid overhauls to start. It starts with a decision that we've talked about in previous videos. And as we start to work our way through, you can start to make incremental changes if you don't want to just be completely extreme and just say, okay, you know what, I'm not going to get rid of the whole snack cupboard. I'm not necessarily going to be eating anything else in the snack cupboard, but I'm going to start to add certain things that I like and I can consume and be happy with and content with and confident with. And then I can gradually add more and more and feel better about myself as time goes on. If you like this video, make sure you watch this video right here. It's another great video that can help you in regards to some of the things we're talking about in today's video. And I'll see you on the next part of the series. Thanks and take care, and make sure you subscribe.